So we want to have a bird's eye view on Francois Chollet's paper on the measure of intelligence. He wrote the paper in 2019. So of old, historically, AI progress is measured by task-specific skill. So the ability of AI to be able to beat human beings at games like chess games, like Go. So Google produced their own AI model for that AlphaGo and was able to beat the top Go player, right? So it's narrowed down to a specific skill. And so, but that is actually a crystallized intelligence. So there are specific sets of conditions that AI must fulfill to be able to solve that problem. And so it can do very well in that. But according to Francois Chollet, that's that is flawed. It just measures how good AI can be able to perform a specific skill, but that is not the same thing as intelligence. So skill is not the same as intelligence. So intelligence is basically the ability to learn. So moving forward, he is developing a new formal definition of intelligence, which is basically the ability to acquire skill. So skill acquisition efficiency. So as opposed to just mere memorization, to be able to memorize things and then to measure how a system can perform a very fixed task. So we are looking towards a fluid intelligence, not crystallized, but fluid. So ability to be able to adapt to unknown unknowns. So we have experience and prior knowledge, and using that to be able to gain new skills. So this is skill acquisition efficiency. So the old version is the crystallized intelligence, while the new version is the fluid intelligence, because human beings can be able to navigate just with a few information that a human has, can be able to infer and be able to abstract and make meaning out of it. So that is actually what intelligence is, the ability to learn. So the benchmark for measuring the human-like general fluid intelligence, which Francois, Francois, let's say, projects or shows to us, is the abstraction and reasoning corpus. So this is what is going to be used for that. And so normally, if you're talking about the crystallized intelligence, we have massive data sets for that. And so AI will be able to do pattern recognition and be able to abstract patterns from that to be able to. But what happens is that if there's an obstruction or maybe like a little bit of deviation from that data set, the AI becomes brittle. It starts making mistakes that ordinary is not supposed to make. So it's not really intelligence, it's just memorization and pattern recognition. So, but in this case of this abstraction and reasoning corpus, which Francois is projecting, what will happen here is that we give AI few examples and measure how it can be able to solve visual problems based on the little examples that it have, as opposed to having massive data sets for that. You just imagine the way, if you remember when you are in your primary four, primary five, you're solving quantitative reasoning, and they just give you this, few patterns, few examples, and then you leave you to be able to solve that. And then from those little examples that have been given to you, you can be able to infer, as little as you are, like 7 or 8 years old, and you'll be able to solve that problem. AI cannot solve that currently. It has to be given huge amount of data set for you to be able to solve or come close to the solving of that. So that's what we want to have. So we don't want to have like a higher advantage of you having a larger, massive data set another person does not have. And then that would be like another, because you have the artifact to be able to solve that problem. So everything is on the level playing ground. You're just going to have the normal skill set of like object permanence and of symmetry. And from that core base, you can be able to see how you can generalize to unknown unknowns. So this is what it's projecting. It's a very tough way, but that will be able to advance to be able to bring AI to more human intelligence. Because at the end of the day, the baseline for measure of intelligence is the human intelligence. That is the tangible and the sensible and the material kind of intelligence you have access to. And so that will always be the baseline for the measurement of intelligence until we have any other way, which let's see if we are going to have. So this is more of like an overview of Francois Chollet's paper on the measure of intelligence. You can Google it and read about that. Thank you.